Hello everyone, welcome to the Topping Tune channel. This software is designed for topping devices that have the PEQ. For example, the models shown above. First, go to the Topping official website and download the Topping Tune software. After downloading, install it and keep clicking Next until the installation is complete. This software is mainly used in two scenarios. First, you can customize the sound according to your listening preference for a more comfortable listening experience. If you feel the bass is lacking, you can increase the bass gain using software. Second, the software supports importing both source frequency response and target frequency response curves. Then, by adding adjustments in Topping Tune, you can make your source frequency response closer to the target. For example, if you want to try the Harman target curve sound, import your headphone's frequency response. Then use our software to adjust so the sound gets closer to the Harman curve. Let's use this scenario as an example to explain the software. First, turn on the PEQ on your device and connect it to the computer with a USB cable. Open Topping Tune. At the bottom info bar, you can see that your device is successfully connected, along with other details. Note, PEQ only works with sampling rates up to 192 kHz. If the sampling rate is higher than that, PEQ will not take effect. Set the PEQ mode to L+R for now. We'll explain this in detail later. Next, import your source and target frequency response. The target can also be our built-in Harman curve. The source is your headphone's current frequency response. The target is the desired final response. What we do next is add filters so that the source response plus the adjustments get close to the target. In other words, A plus B should roughly equal C. Let's use simple curves to explain filters. Suppose the source frequency response is a flat line, and the target curve has 3 peaks, meaning there are 3 differences. Turn on each filter, and you'll see that one filter isn't enough. You'll need at least 3. That means B1, B2, B3, up to a maximum of 10 filters. So the combined filter is simply the total effect of all filters added together. So B equals B1 plus B2 plus B3, and so on. It's hard to tell if A plus B is close to C just by looking, so click Filter Def R to see their combined effect. This way, you can directly compare it with curve C. Or you can click Raw to switch to compensated, so you can directly check if A plus B is a straight line. You can zoom the Y-axis with the mouse wheel for easier viewing. Now let's take a closer look at filters. You can choose from several filter types: peak filter, low pass, high pass, low shelf, and high shelf. Center frequency setting decides where the filter is applied. Gain can be understood as volume. The Q factor changes how wide the filter's effect is and how smooth the slope will be. There is the preamplification, which adjusts the overall volume. It's best to adjust the preamp gain after finishing your filter settings. Try to keep the combined filter curve mostly below 0 dB to avoid distortion from overloading. In the second use case, how do we know which filter to use for adjusting the curve? There's just one simple rule to follow. Use the filter that gets closest to the target curve, then adjust it to match as much as possible. For the first use case, when customizing, simply pick the right filter type based on whether you want to boost or cut certain frequencies. For example, if you think there's too much bass and want to reduce it overall, use a low shelf filter. Here are some skills for custom adjustments. Feel free to pause and take a look. Now, let's go over some tips for operating the software. Hover over a knob and scroll to adjust the value, or type it in directly. Double-click the knob to reset to default. Click X to delete the current filter. Right-click to clear the selected filter or clear all filters. Drag the middle divider to adjust the screen ratio. Click Export to save the combined filter frequency response file. Now let's look at PEQ mode. Some devices support adjusting the left and right channels separately. After finishing the overall adjustment, if you want to fine-tune the left and right channels, you can switch to leader per revolution mode and adjust them separately. Besides manual adjustment, we can also import filter parameters, that is, import the combined filter directly. From other sources, such as the Otoke website, you can generate the combined filter and then import it into topping tune. When importing, pay attention to the PEQ mode setting. In LR mode, it imports to one channel only. Click here to choose left or right. In L+R mode, it imports to both channels at the same time. Now we've set one effect, just select it to use. Click plus and press enter to copy and add a config. Right-click to rename or delete. Click Store to Device, or click plus on User Config to send it to the unit. Close the software, and the device works offline. Up to 5 additional device configs are supported. We also provide 5 built-in presets that you can modify directly in Tune. Finally, let's briefly look at the system settings. Here you can change the language, set the EQ file storage path, check for updates, and view version information. If filter def align is checked, the frequency response after filtering will align to 0 dB at 500 Hz. If high sample rate mute is checked, playback above 192 kHz will be muted. As mentioned earlier, topping tune supports up to 192 kHz. Above that, PEQ will not work. If PEQ gain is low, volume may suddenly increase when it stops working. If not checked, please pay attention to the sample rate and volume during use. That's the end of this topping tune tutorial. Hope these tips help you handle audio more easily. See you in the next channel.